more, and they heard the Four Aces singing "Love Is a Medicine" thing, and you put her in a romantic mood, and they got married and made babies. You ever think about these things, Al?
Yeah, in fact,
gets a lot of people come backstage and said they got married or they met somebody in South America or in Europe. How about during the war? How many soldiers come back and see you?
Well, we had airplanes and tanks and all of that, which was just thrilling. But every now and then, Joe, a guy comes along and says, "You and your music." That one didn't work out too good. You know?
Not for you. I wouldn't have had that aggravation, right?
His request was to be buried at sea, and it's sort of sad as Josephine and I look at the videos of the Four Aces and all these memories to think that he's no longer with us, but he lives on through our television and through our videos and DVDs. 4 parts, Four Aces, 4 parts of Al Albert's were featured on the Joe Franklin Show. I put it together August and October of 1987. I brought Al Alberts up from North Cape May, New Jersey, and we did 4 segments on the Joe Franklin Show. And Joe Franklin had said to me that was the first time any artist was ever saluted 4 times in 2 months on his show. So I'm part of Joe Franklin history for having Al Alberts on the show 4 separate times in August and October of 1987. 4-part salute, which is pretty good as far as my feelings are concerned, because it's a very rewarding experience to have honored Al Alberts and film clips of the Four Aces, which you've seen earlier in the Josephine Show, but we highlight them again. So you're going to be taking a look right now at Al Alberts and myself and Joe Franklin from 1987 through the magic of video. We have memories of Al talking about his career, and as you're watching this, and as you've watched everything on the Josephine Show, on the air show, bear in mind that Al is no longer with us, but Dave Mahoney, Sod Vaccaro, and of course our dear friend Lou Silvestri, the fabulous bass singer, is still with us. And speaking of bass singers, this dog is I'm catching a dog allergy. I'm catching your allergy. All right, let's take a look at the Joe Franklin Show. That's Josephine over there. Hello, Josephine. Your Gypsy Rose Pussycat is ready to watch the Joe Franklin Show, and bear in mind that Al is not with us anymore, so it's with bittersweet memories that we watch the screen right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Al Alberts told us yesterday, the ace of the Four Aces, told us that he's got one ambition, to have one more multi-million seller, and the word is the new one might, start taking off a little bit up until, right?
In the tri-state area of our home base of Philadelphia, New Jersey, and all the state of New Jersey into Delaware and Virginia, we're doing very well with an album called A Summer Sing-Along.
And one of the songs in there is called
On the Way to Cape May.
And Walter Gollender gave it a rave in his column. Walter.
5. I gave it 5 little Joe Franklin. That's the highest you can get. 5. It's a 5 Franklin Award.
That's the medical profession's highest rating.
5.
4 scars.
5
4
Joes.
scars.
4 scars.
Ladies and gentlemen, the newest by Mr. Alberts.
That was cute.
A touch, a sample.
You look so very pretty when we met in Ocean City, like someone oh so easy to adore. I sang this little ditty on our way through Ocean City, heading south along the Jersey Shore. On the way to Cape May, I fell in love with you. On the way to Cape May, I saw my dreams come true. I was taken by your smile as we drifted by sea. My heart was gone.
Every night about this time, I come sauntering into your home or your bedroom or your bowling alley or your pool room, whatever it might be, and I say good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Joe Franklin Show, Monday through Friday. We say good morning, good show, and I've got a good one for you today. I've got a good surprise for Mr. Al Alberts of the Four Aces. There's a man, by the way, not only is he featured in every book on popular musical history, he is Mr. Popular Musical History, the Four Aces. And I'm going to tell Al that one night I was watching TV. It was either the Perry Como or the Ed Sullivan Show, and they introduced the Four Aces as the Four Lads. I wonder if he's going to remember that night. That's what you call a little bit of a blooper, but no blooper over the fact that today, a good show. Al Alberts. I've got His Majesty, His Royal Highness, the King of the Hobos. I think he's here today to recruit me. I don't know. Those were the days when stars were stars, when movies were movies. Everybody's asking me if I'll show some photographs of Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland and Ann Rutherford. We'll show them at the opening tomorrow. That's a promise. On the desk here, I noticed that Robert Phillips is a classical guitarist who's one of my favorites, and very few guitarists have ever gotten the accolades from the press, have been as accoladed as Robert Phillips. I want Bob to chat with us today to play that famous guitar for us. Are you a fan, Mr. Alberts, of classic guitar?
I love it. In fact, other than vocal recordings, most of my recordings are classical guitars.
That's fabulous. And just, even though you've said these titles before, just by way of refreshing a few memories out there, some of those multi-million sellers, Mr. Alberts, included?
Love is a Many Splendid Thing, Three Coins in the Fountain, Stranger in Paradise,
Perfidia.
Mr. Sandman, Perfidia, A Woman in Love.
We had They Might Be Giants here the other day doing a takeoff, a little satire on Perfidia.
Oh, really?
You are now, you've reached the stage where...
There's sheet music there for Perfidia.
Where you become satirized.
Perfidia,
That's
right
the original.
there. Speak of the devil, huh?
That's the original sheet music of Perfidia.
That's worth $50, that piece of sheet music.
I just want to say that my memory goes back to the days of tuning in on the radio when Alan Freed and Murray the K and Bob Horn and Jack Lacey and Jerry Marshall would say, man, oh man, if any group has hit after hit, it's the Four Aces. I was wondering if the official biographer, the acknowledged authority on the Four Aces, Mr. Walter Gollender, might do the official introduction today of Al Alberts, and let's do it nice.
Well, I told the folks last time we were here saluting the Four Aces that there are a lot of entertainers in the world today, but I don't think you can find any act that won the #1 gold award from Cashbox Magazine, Billboard, Associated Press International, and the Music Operators of America, as far as jukeboxes. The #1 vocal group from 1952 through 1957. 100 million records to date. They invented choreography. They invented the exciting, gutsy love song. And other than that, I wouldn't even have to show this, which you're going to talk about in a little while.
Al, if miracles could happen, if you could be Al Alberts, 18 years old, right now, beginning the whole career all over again at this moment, would you enjoy such a bit of hypothecating?
Yes. And would I do it again?
Yes,
the
exactly.
same way? I might have made a few changes. I think I would have controlled our direction more than we did, although the direction we had from MCA, which was Decca at the time, was excellent in directing us towards the movie songs and the soundtracks. But I would have concentrated more on albums, even though albums was a little premature back in the 50s. I think when I look back, we may have now, a dozen albums out, whereas the artists today, if they hit that #1 spot, they've got 20 albums out with it.
Or 100.
Yeah. And that's where the longevity is.
It's always interesting what Al is doing now, to always look back and figure, would you have done things differently, right? It's always good speculation, right?
Well, the one thing I would have done differently, Joe, you know, when we did Heart of My Heart,
right,
it was a sing-along, and it sold over 1 million records. Then we did Wedding Bells, and that sold 1 million. And then we did Tavern in the Town. We did 4 sing-alongs.
Shine on Harvest Moon.
Shine on Harvest Moon was another one. So we came in for a discussion with the powers to be to say, discussing a new project for an album. And I said, you know, the sing-alongs seem to be really moving. Why don't we use the 4 that we already have, and we'll add 8 more, and we'll call it Sing Along with the Four Aces.
And then Mitch Miller came along.
I was laughed out of the room, so we never did do it. And again, yes, as you said, only a few months later, Mitch came along with the sing-along, and every time I saw it on television.
Mr. Alberts, what is an average 24-hour period in the 1987 life of a young man named Al Alberts? Let's say from early until late.
Well, I'll give you a schedule. Starting last Wednesday night, we taped our television show.
In Philly?
Yes, which airs on Channel 6 there, which is the, could we say the network? I don't know.
Anything, whatever you want. You kidding?
We're on ABC there. And Thursday morning, I started recording. My two sons have a recording studio. We're trying to finish a Christmas album and talking